Before you ever meet a samurai, before you ever sweep a wooden hallway at sunrise, your life is already mostly decided. Not because you made a bad choice. Mostly because you were born in the wrong house. Welcome to feudal Japan, where social classes are stacked like wooden boxes. And sadly, you are the box at the very bottom. Not even the nice polished box either. More like the one left outside in the rain. You are born into a poor family during the Edo period, a time when Japan is ruled by samurai lords, strict laws, and enough rules to make modern paperwork look relaxing. At the very top are the samurai. Warriors with swords, status, and enough confidence to walk around like every hallway belongs to them. Below them are farmers, artisans, and merchants. And somewhere underneath all that are people like you. Servants. Invisible people who keep the entire world running while getting almost none of the credit. Your family probably lives in a tiny village house with a dirt floor, thin walls, and maybe one cooking pot that has seen better days. Rice is expensive. Winters are cold. And if the harvest goes badly, everybody feels it. There are no emergency food deliveries. No grocery stores. No instant noodles waiting in the cabinet. Honestly, surviving one bad season is already an achievement. Your parents work constantly. They bow constantly. They worry constantly. And eventually, they make a hard choice. You are sent away to serve a samurai household. Maybe you are 10 years old. Maybe younger. Which means instead of spending your childhood playing outside, you are now entering a giant wooden home filled with strict rules, nervous servants, and armed men carrying swords indoors like that is completely normal behavior. To be fair, for them it is. The first thing you notice is the silence. Not peaceful silence. Careful silence. The kind where everybody moves softly because one wrong sound might upset somebody important. The floors creak gently beneath your feet. Paper screens slide open with soft whispers. Somewhere in the distance, water boils over a fire. You smell smoke, tatami grass, and damp wood from last night's rain. And immediately, somebody tells you that you are standing wrong. That is your welcome to samurai life. You bow awkwardly, probably too fast, maybe too low, maybe not low enough. Honestly, there are about 7,000 ways to bow incorrectly here. Nobody explains them all. You are just expected to know. The older servants look tired all the time. Not dramatic tired, just deeply exhausted in the soul. The kind of tired where even blinking feels like extra work. But they move quickly. Always quickly. Because in this house, hesitation looks lazy. And laziness is dangerous. You soon learn that servants are not supposed to be noticed. That is one of the most important rules. If a samurai sees dust on the floor, that is bad. But if a samurai notices you personally, that can also be bad. Your goal is to become almost ghost-like. Quiet feet, quiet voice, quiet breathing if possible. You carry water buckets across the property while trying not to spill anything. You kneel during conversations. You keep your eyes lowered. You memorize names, schedules, and routines. And you do all this while still basically being a child. There are servants above you too, of course. The older workers give orders constantly. Move faster. Not like that. You missed a spot. You call that clean? Very encouraging people. Some of them are harsh because they enjoy power. But many are harsh because they remember what happened when they made mistakes themselves. A dropped tray. A dirty hallway. Cold bathwater prepared too slowly. Small problems for us today. Very large problems for you. Punishment in a samurai household can mean humiliation, beatings, less food, or being thrown out entirely. And getting dismissed is terrifying because outside these walls, survival is even harder. At least here you get meals. Well, technically. The samurai and his family eat first, obviously. Beautiful rice, fish, vegetables, soups, tea. You and the other servants eat later. Sometimes quickly. Sometimes standing. Sometimes leftovers. And if food is short, the important people still eat first. Which means you become very familiar with thin rice porridge. A meal so watery it sometimes feels like the rice is only visiting briefly before leaving again. But even with all this hardship, the samurai house can feel strange and beautiful sometimes. At night, lantern light glows softly against paper walls. Wind moves through the garden trees. Crickets sing outside in the dark. For a few moments, the house almost feels peaceful. Then somebody remembers there is still work to do. And the peace disappears immediately. You begin learning the rhythm of the estate. The cook wakes before sunrise. The stable workers barely sleep. The personal attendants memorize every habit of the samurai they serve. Everybody lives inside a giant machine built from duty and fear. And now you are one tiny piece inside it. You also learn quickly that samurai households run on hierarchy. Every person has a place. Every place matters. And nobody is supposed to climb higher than the position they were born into. A servant cannot simply decide to become a samurai someday. This is not one of those inspirational movies where hard work changes everything. Hard work here usually just earns you more work. Still, people survive. People laugh quietly in kitchens. They whisper gossip while folding clothes. They sneak extra bites of food when nobody important is looking. Tiny moments of happiness become precious. Because when your entire life is controlled by rules, even sitting for 5 peaceful minutes feels luxurious. Over time, you stop thinking about your old home as much. This samurai estate becomes your world. Its halls, its smells, its routines, its fears. And every morning before the sun rises over the rooftops, you wake up and start again. Because the samurai household never truly rests. And neither do you. You are asleep for exactly 5 beautiful seconds before somebody shakes your shoulder. Wake up. That is your morning greeting now. No soft sunrise. No peaceful stretching. No staying in bed wondering about life. Just darkness, cold air, and immediate responsibility. Outside, the sky is still black. The moon hangs above the rooftops, and the entire world feels frozen in place. Most people are asleep. Unfortunately for you, you are not most people. You sit up slowly on your thin sleeping mat, already tired somehow. Your back hurts. Your legs hurt. Honestly, parts of your body you did not even know existed now hurt too. Welcome to servant life. The room around you is cramped and chilly. Other servants rise quietly nearby, rolling up bedding with the speed of people who no hesitation leads to yelling. Nobody speaks much in the morning. It is too early for conversation, and too dangerous to make unnecessary noise. You pull on your plain work clothes and hurry into the hallway. The wooden floors feel freezing beneath your feet. Somewhere in the distance, a floorboard creaks softly. Instant panic. Everybody freezes for 1 second, then relaxes. False alarm. You will spend a large part of your life becoming terrified of sounds. The first job of the morning is fire. Without fire, the house is cold. Without fire, nobody eats. Without fire, the samurai might wake up uncomfortable, and that is the kind of thing that ruins everybody's day. So you hurry toward the kitchen carrying bundles of wood. The air smells faintly of ash and smoke from the night before. Older servants crouch near the hearth, carefully blowing life back into fading embers. You kneel beside them. Your eyes instantly begin watering from smoke. Very peaceful. Very elegant. You cough once. 3 servants look at you like you just attacked the emperor personally. Quiet, somebody whispers. Right, forgot. You feed small pieces of wood into the fire while sparks dance upward into the darkness. Slowly, warmth begins spreading through the kitchen. Not enough warmth for comfort, of course. Just enough warmth to remind you what comfort used to feel like. Next comes water, which means buckets. So many buckets. You carry them from the well again and again until your arms feel like wet noodles. In winter, the rope burns your frozen hands while icy water splashes onto your clothes. The cold sinks into your bones. And this is still somehow only the beginning of the day. The household needs water for everything. Washing, cooking, cleaning, bathing, and endless other tasks nobody warned you about. A samurai house consumes water the way a hungry horse eats grass. Constantly. You move carefully across the courtyard as dawn slowly begins touching the rooftops. The garden looks beautiful in the early light. Frost clings to the stones. Thin mist drifts across the ground. You almost enjoy the moment. Then your bucket handle snaps. Water crashes everywhere. For 1 terrible second, time stops. You stare at the spreading puddle in horror. Another servant stares at you in even greater horror. Not because of the water itself. Because now you have delayed the morning schedule. Which means somebody important might notice. And if somebody important notices, everybody becomes nervous. You apologize immediately. About 14 times. Luckily, the older servant only sighs deeply instead of reporting you. Mostly because replacing all that water would also create more work for them. Congratulations. You survived another near disaster. Barely. As the morning continues, the house slowly wakes around you. You sweep wooden hallways with careful strokes, trying to remove every speck of dust before the samurai family appears. Tatami mats must look perfect. Sandals must be lined neatly. Doors must slide open smoothly. You discover that entire sections of your brain are now dedicated to worrying about floor cleanliness. An exciting life. The senior servants inspect everything constantly. One crooked cushion can apparently bring shame upon civilization itself. You bow while receiving corrections. Always bow. There is bowing for greetings. Bowing for apologies. Bowing while accepting instructions. Bowing because somebody slightly important walked nearby. At this point your spine is basically becoming a folding chair. Soon the kitchen becomes busier. Rice begins steaming. Fish crackles softly over the fire. Tea is prepared with careful attention. The smell fills the air, warm and comforting. And absolutely none of it is for you. Not yet anyway. Your job now is preparing washing basins for the samurai household. Warm water must be carried carefully into private rooms. Towels folded properly. Everything placed in exactly the right position. You learn quickly that wealthy people become very upset when things are slightly out of place. One towel crooked? Dishonor. One basin too cold? The end of the world. Meanwhile, you have not sat down once since waking up. As sunlight finally reaches the estate, the samurai family begins moving through the house. And suddenly the entire atmosphere changes. Servants kneel lower. Voices become softer. Everybody moves faster but somehow quieter too. You keep your eyes lowered as a samurai walks past wearing layered robes and carrying 2 swords at his side. Even hearing the swords lightly tap together makes your stomach tighten. Not because he has threatened you personally, just because everybody understands the balance of power here. One person gives orders. The other obeys. Immediately, breakfast service begins, which means chaos hidden beneath politeness. Dishes move in and out of rooms quickly. Tea spills are cleaned instantly. Trays are carried with shaking arms. And through all of this, you must remain invisible. Not too slow. Not too loud. Not too noticeable. Basically, your ideal performance is being a hardworking ghost. The strange thing is that after enough mornings like this, your body adjusts. Not fully. You are always tired, but your muscles learn the rhythm. Your hands move automatically. You wake before sunrise without even thinking about it anymore. The house trains you. Slowly. Relentlessly. You begin measuring time differently too. Not by clocks, but by chores. Fire before dawn. Water before sunrise. Sweeping before breakfast. Tea before visitors arrive. Your entire existence becomes a moving schedule built around other people's comfort. And somewhere during all this, you realize something important. The samurai household looks calm from the outside. Elegant even. But underneath that calm surface are dozens of exhausted servants running everywhere to keep the illusion alive. Like ducks floating peacefully on water while paddling furiously underneath. Except the ducks also carry heavy buckets and get yelled at for dust. By the time the morning finally settles, the sun hangs fully above the estate walls. Birds chirp softly in the garden trees. The worst of the early rush is over. For now. You pause for one tiny moment near the kitchen entrance and stretch your aching shoulders. Big mistake. A senior servant immediately appears behind you. There is still work. Of course there is. There is always still work. And so, with tired legs and smoke still clinging to your clothes, you bow once more and continue deeper into another endless day inside the samurai household.